reason we have 1,000 military bases is not for military power. They're lily pads for smuggling. That is how CIA smuggles gold, guns, drugs, cash, and small children for the elites in the United States. War is a profit center, not just for oil. War produces body parts. It produces orphans. It produces all kinds of human goods that can then be trafficked. And the banks rely on war and drugs for their cash flow, for their liquidity.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chahakwadash. Double honors to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. You know, and it's on my spirit just to say, hey man, it's high time to wake out of sleep. You know, you got this earthquake in Colombia, 7.4, diverse earthquakes. Or I'm alluding to earthquakes in diverse places. You have forest fires, the Lord visiting with storm and tempest and rebuke and flame of fire. And the ultimate flame of fire is going to be those thermonuclear missiles with the chariots shooting down their concentrated heat. But we're at the end of this thing, man. You know, me and the brother was just chopping it up about it, like, there's great men like Daniel, Peter, John the Revelator, but the prophets in this time are able to interpret the things that they wrote down prophetically, and they couldn't interpret. So, we're blessed to be in this time, but at the same time, too much is given, much is required, and we're dealing, as you see in the video, with a devil that would not leave a grape. Okay, he would try, he's worse than hand over fist. He the type to use one person as a scapegoat, poison the world, use a person as a scapegoat, sell that poison to the person he used as a scapegoat, and then get other people around about to vouch for him, and then rewrite history and say you were the bad guy. Like this is their MO, which is why I put that video up, because just like with schooling, there's something called a Prussian school system, and that came about because they wanted people to fight harder, so they wanted to, i.e., program them to believe in their country. This started in Germany, but then I believe the Rockefellers, it's not the Rothschilds, I believe the Rockefellers went over there to Germany and incorporated this form of education. Okay, because beforehand people learned, but again they come up with ideas and science, all kind of theologies and synopsis on why they're correct on adding this new thing, which was schooling at the time, and people actually revolted and got their pitchforks because they were trying to make school mandatory. All right, because people had shit to do with their kids. All right, but we're accustomed to it now because the lie has overgrown the truth. Okay, just like you have the five monkeys in the cage, and you put the banana at the top of the ladder, and every time that monkey go up to the top, water spray him or they punish him in some type of way to make that monkey stop doing it till they get all five monkeys, and then the monkey stop going up there. They put in a new monkey. The new monkey try to go up there. All the old monkeys beat the new monkey to stop him from going up there. And then you keep putting in a new monkey. The new monkey joins. The old new monkey joins in to beat up on a new monkey. And then you just replace all five of the monkeys. Now everybody's beating up on it, and there's no water hose. There's no punishment. It's just you just know not to touch that banana. So that's how it goes in history. Grocery stores, schools, all these are marketing, capitalistic marketing concepts. Through World War I, that's when during the World Wars, that's when mass production had it hit its height. It hit its height in demand. it hit its height in production. Well, I can't say it's hit its height in production, but it's hit its height in demand. That's when its mass production mainly hits its height. All right. But that's when it got traction. All right. Building all these tanks and rifles and guns, you know, because there was even a story about them doing an arms race with that, you know, creating a gun, going and selling it for a little bit to make money to turn around and sell it for a lot of it, you know. Like Esau don't just make guns, he create wars to sell them. Okay? Like they tell you in business, supply and demand, Esau creates the demand. You know, just like education, he creates the demand. The 2020, he created the demand. He created the problem, the reaction, and the solution. Or he created the problem and the solution. You know? So this devil will go far at controlling things, controlling you, and he goes so far that it's layers. It's like the 2020 deal, you know. Not only did they make money hand over fist from the government regulating it, you know what I'm saying? So now everybody they mandating it, making everybody have to get it. But then now you get a grant or some type of grant because everybody got to get it now and the government mandated it. So now they got to pay for it. All right. So you paying and then it's killing you. You know what I'm saying? Now they making money in funerals. Now they getting rid of certain people and they taking your social security. There's a lot of old people that died that their social security is still pumping and still being active and still being pumped into these people's salaries. You know, uh, on top of, job businesses losing their spots and then the big corporations taking over. It's a bunch of shit, bro. This is how this devil moves. That's why the earth mourn when he's in rule, you know? It's astounding to me that people really is cool with how he running things and get mad at this gospel because they don't like the rules of the gospel. Oh, y'all can't eat ham sandwiches over there? Oh man, I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna stick with this over here. You know, that's stupid. You die on this side. Okay? You die on this side. Let's get straight to the point. Okay? But on the other hand, those who remain, going to second Esdras, all right, those that remain are more honored than those that weren't left behind. Why? Because the elect that remain are gonna have to go through a lot. All right, they're gonna have lot more opportunity to get XP points. They're in the playoffs. There's some brothers that may pass on this side, pass before, and they'll be the first to rise in Yahweh Shai because we all get salvation. But there is a honor system, a ranking system, a pecking order system, the amount of work you put in. All right, but salvation is good enough. Tell you that much. But I digress. Just getting back to it, on this side. So what do we do? Because the scriptures does say there's no enchantment against Jacob, but we also have a way we supposed to move, being occupied in prophecies. It doesn't mean just breaking things down. You're supposed to be examining this measuring the time diligently, and making sure that, we're moving around the devil, man. All right. Resisting the devil, staying out of the way. Sometimes you might not be able to stay out the way, because ultimately we gotta fulfill the Lord's will. But yet, we still gotta move wisely. We still gotta operate in a certain fashion. So, knowing about these prophecies being occupied, it'll let you know. Cause even if you got some bread on you, we knowing that wars are coming down the pipe. We knowing that, I ain't saying that you could stock up or something like that, but you'll know to get more water and shit like that. You'll know to, not stop buying these products or stop buying this product, especially when you're walking in the spirit, man. The Lord will have you do things randomly on top of that, but at the same time, you know, being occupied in prophecies, just like missing out on school, resisting this world, coming out of this world, losing, you know, that the more you occupy in prophecies, the easier it gets for us, so it's very important, well, I ain't gonna say very important, it's real telling where your spirit is based off of how you are, influenced by, the exterior, family, you know, because even what Peter said, we have denied everything, what shall we receive, right? So it's a sacrifice that comes with this. And a sacrifice becomes easy when you're occupied in prophecy. When you know that when you look outside and say, this place is going to be rubble. When that's a reality for you, it's not hard to pass up on the big booty bitches. You know, it's not hard to to deny opportunities, to say what you got to say to people. Be a prophecy, be the Lord's will, not be a brute beast trying to hurt everybody, but you're willing to take chances and put this life at risk because and making this body a living sacrifice because the body on the other side is going to be everlasting. So let me get these two precepts, man. And then well, I got another one. I might get it. Sirach 23:18. It says, "A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me," and this is talking in regards to Esau. I'm harping on us and what we should do because that's the most important thing. Because all this shit gonna happen anyway. So what do we do about it? You know, and Esau as a man that breaketh wedlock, meaning he break his covenants. What covenants he broke? He broke covenants with people and the earth. He break the land Sabbath. He pollutes the water. He pollutes the trees. He pollutes the ground. You know, he pollutes everything. He's death. All right. So he's breaking all kind of covenants, man. All right. With his signs, he's breaking covenants with genders. You know, like he's just destroying things, man. There's people out here that I was watching this video with these actors that show their original face and then they face after all that plastic surgery, man. Man, like it's bugged out, man. You know. But I'm gonna get back to it. It says, "Saying thus in his heart, who seeth me." Yeah, Esau. This is the one point I wanted to get out because he'll break his covenants, and then he'll do it in a way to say like, "Nigga, I ain't do no wrong," you know. But in the dark, deep down, he know he was a scumbag, and that's his mo. That's his foundation of trickery. To be a complete scumbag and call it and say it's just business. Not now it's like, okay, that's what I gotta do. Like hell no, man. Like I remember I was saying when I was in the world, bro. I used to deal with a chick and she used to do petty shit, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do it too. And I'm like, that's not even in my character, man. I'm not about to do that. So just leave the situation. You break a covenant, you know. And Esau, he forcibly breaks it by betrayal. You know, he just used just like in Israel. America sit there and Babylon sit there and make agreement with Iran. and then they call Israel, all right, it's good to go. They guards us down and hit them, bang, bang, bang. And then sat down with another piece there. Then as soon as they back turn, they hit them again. This is the snake stuff they do. They the dude on Bloodsport, blowing Dustin John Claude Van Damme eyes. This how they fight. So what are we to do? You can't. I'm gonna bring goggles, okay, and do what the Lord want me to do. You blow Dustin, I already knew you're a devil. What else I suspect out of you? I ain't gonna cheat, but I ain't gonna sit here and let you get over on me. I'm gonna stay out the way unless the Lord tell me to go walk that path, right? But getting back to him, it says, "Saying thus in his heart, who seeth me, I am compassed about with darkness. Yet they think nobody can see him. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? the Most High will not remember my sins. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. He knoweth all things, ere ever they were created, so also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. So he knew he knew where you at, where you going, and where you intending to go. He's observed. He made it. Who else don't look at their work after they finish? You know what I'm saying? To see how things is operating. Even when he creates devils, man, he's checking on them. Okay? Wow. Yeah, I gotta get rid of these boys, man. Just like I did, just like I made them. They hit that point. Yep. You know, this is exactly how I made them. They hit the point. This is the time. That cake, that thing. Yeah. That's what Esau's at. He hit that part. Ding. Now you gotta let him out the oven and let him rest and cut him open and get rid of him and let him get devoured. You know, and that's where we at. That bell ringing. The man of sin has been revealed. Okay, and it's been manifesting since the time of Yahweh Shai, man. And it's at its pinnacle. The cake baked. You know, the meat cooked. Now you gotta let it rest. You know, let these prophecies just flow on downhill. And really, the cake ain't baked yet till the MOTB come. To be honest, you know, to the last trump. That's when that bell is gonna click. But you can smell the aroma. It's in the air. You know. But verse 23, chapter 23, verse 21 of Sirach says, "This man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspecteth not, he shall be taken." Yeah. And Esau's gonna be taken. Hey, the lake of fire. It's gonna be Babylon, man. The dead bodies in the streets. It's gonna be real dead bodies. It's gonna be so many that ain't nobody gonna be able to pick them up. It's gonna be like dung. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So we're headed in a time where it's over with for this dude. But this is the reason why. This is not a hate campaign. This is not a a uh, a campaign of I'm better than you, even though that's what we are, that's what it is. But this is not like an insecurity thing like Esau does. Like he has to campaign his agenda. We just do what we do. But we pushing this because we got to push prophecy. We got to campaign that we're the true children of Israel. All right? Because once it happens, then you're gonna know that Yahweh has said it. Because when we say we're the true children of Israel, we say in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, this is how we found out. Just like Moses came. Alright? But let me get this last verse out the way. It says, Sirach, Ecclesiastes 8 and 12, it says, "Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High, which fear before him." You know? Because the wicked Esau, he ain't gonna get away. He's not. All right. So what do? No, we don't gotta march around no fucking because Jake got shot. Because they're not gonna fare. Wait ye upon me, saith the Lord. There's nothing we're gonna do strategically inside this system that's gonna change anything. The root of evil. Babylon's that tree, man. Okay. They done took that seed, one of the acorns from Great Britain, aka Rome, reincarnated, and planted it over here. And it was going, they was fighting over that. So that tree still got deep roots, but it's fucked up. This tree was untouched for a long time. Strong. Strong in its roots. Yeah, over this bullshit. Branches spreading, man. You know, got plenty of water. You know, cause its location, the virgin daughter of Babylon, untouched. You know, but at the end of the day, that made Esau proud. That made him think that, you know, he is and none else beside him. That nobody was going to take him down. All right. I am and none else beside me. But the Lord said he's going to what? Put you in the dust, make you low. Okay? Put you in a state of confusion. And you're going to realize, this is how you're going to realize Yahweh Shemel Shah exists, because the way he has things fixed, there's no human that can stop this system, bro. There's no marching. There's no nothing. He's too evil to feel anything about a damn march. They just seen an opportunity to make money off of y'all. You know, these people that'll sit there and drug you and lock you in a bin and tell you certain things and see how you react for years and collect data. They know how to fuck with people. They know how to fuck with the public. They know how to tell them certain things. Hell, the casino know how to fucking hedge a bet half a point above what it's supposed to be. You know, like Esau does, he does a diligent search, man, of his evil, of his of things he want to do, of how to cover up his lies. But the thing about a lie, the truth is way more powerful every time. This gospel is more powerful. The history is more powerful. Documents are more powerful. Real life is more powerful than a bullshit story. It may be more interesting, but you know what I'm saying? Water is way better than Kool-Aid. You know? And water is the truth, and Kool-Aid that bullshit. You know? But yeah, I just wanted to bring this out, man. It's a twofold thing, showing the evils of Esau, pretty much. And don't trip, move around, make sure you don't let Esau knock you off your pivot. You know, via these different things going on. You know, just like with these earthquakes, man, it could be hard, all kind of things. But it's the Lord. We do that. You know, keep the prayers up, fasting, measuring the times diligently, because we're at the end of this thing, and the devil's coming down great Rabylon. He had for the short time. Look at Trump. He all in Iraq. Why? For no fucking reason, just did it. Man, we almost out of this thing, man. You know? Hey, y'all brushing my shop out cooking that fucking thumbs, though.